Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. It's Oliver again, and in today's class we're talking about the draw panel, like I mentioned earlier. So the first step, once you open AutoCAD, this is how it looks like. I think we've been over this, and then move to new. Just click on new to create a new document or to create a new drawing rather. So what you do, like I said, set your units first by typing UN on your keyboard. UN on your keyboard, you set your units and press enter. This screen will come out where you can choose the units you want to use. For this video, we're using millimeters. So you click on millimeters and then press OK, or you can press enter. Okay. Then after that, the other problem is this UCS icon here, this YX icon right here, the one I'm hovering over. I don't want it that anytime I zoom out, I taught you guys how to zoom in the last class. Anytime I zoom out, I don't want this thing to always be there. So I remove it using my UCS icon. By typing UCS icon, you type it, then you press enter. Then you go to no origin, click on it, then it becomes anywhere, just remains at that corner right there. And then we now save our drawing. That's the next step I said. Save the drawing, Control S, wait for it to come. Then we call it AutoCAD Mastery Class 2. Class 2, yeah. We'll save that and then just give it time. It comes here and it shows that okay, that's received. Okay then, let's get right into it, to this business. So like I said, I told you on the previous class, we're going to be teaching about the draw panel today, talking about the draw panel today. Okay, before we go into the draw panel, I want to let you know about commands and functions. Now, there are many ways for you to carry out stuff or do things in AutoCAD. There are many ways. You can either click on the element in the ribbon. You can either click on the elements here, but that one takes time and it's energy. It's kind of energy consuming. Or you can type the whole function. For example, if I wanted to do a line now, I can just type line on my keyboard. You see, you can type the whole, just start typing. You don't have to click on anything. Just start typing. You don't have to click on anything first. Or you can just type the shortcut L. L will come out for line. You can see it. But this one now, this shortcut one requires you to know them. You understand? You have to know the shortcut. For example, you think C is for copy, but C is for circle. CO is for copy. There are different this thing. For example, now we have a mirror, or let's do rotate 3R. 3R is 3D rotate. But then R, redraw. You think it's rotate, but RO is rotate. So they are different. You just need to know them. It's not that much of a hassle. If you just put your mind to it, you can easily get it. So let's get right into today's video. First thing to do in AutoCAD when you are trying, let's start with the line. Let's start with the line element, the line function. You can also, another thing is that if you don't know much about a function or an operation, let me call it an operation. If you don't know much about an operation in AutoCAD, you can just put your mouse on it, your cursor, sorry. You can just put your cursor on it and then it gives you a little bit of information. Just leave it there for a time. It just spans out like this and then gives you a little bit of information on whatever operation you want to do. And then you can just read it and understand. For example, I kept my cursor, I hovered my cursor over the line operation and then it's telling me create straight line segment. That's what it does. With this line operation, you can create a series of contiguous line segments. Each segment is a line object that can be edited separately. This is another important thing. Each segment is a line object that can be edited separately. That will be I'll explain that later on as we get into this video, as we go deeper into this video. So now to draw a line, let's go. Just type, like I said, you can click on this line here, you can click on it. Then it asks you to specify first point. You can just click on anywhere you want to start because as I told you, this model space doesn't actually it doesn't it's just for you, just like a rough sheet for you to just do your drawing. Where scales and dimensions actually matter is in your paper space when you want to print. But in this model space, you can just start anywhere. I can choose to start from here now. Specify my first point. I choose here as my first point. Then you drag. You see what I show you? Do you know why it's showing me this 3 million and this thing? This thing, because I'm zoomed out to that point. That's why it's showing me 3 million and every other thing. I can easily just press escape. I had to end the operation because you can't zoom in that much. But what happens when I zoom in, I zoom, just keep on zooming, just keep on zooming, just keep on zooming in. See that I've even gone beyond this thing. Now, if I press my line now, or if I click on this line now, you can see it has reduced to about 7,000 and something, 10,000 and something. So you see how to zoom in more. So rather than just like this, than just, well, let's keep on zooming. You see, I cannot zoom in that much. You see, it's telling me I cannot zoom further while an operation, while the command is active. So what I have to do now is just escape. Just press escape, like I said. Escape ends all commands. All commands, escape ends all of them. So you keep on zooming, keep on zooming, keep on zooming in. Just keep on zooming in. Just give it time. Give it time. So if I press my line now, see that it is about 590, 600 something. So we have to zoom in a lot. So best thing now is just to create a new drawing. That's one of the easiest ways to just, because I can just clear this and then no. Let's start all over. So units, millimeters, okay. And then you can do the UCS icon and then no origin and then the saving, Ctrl S, the AutoCAD Masterclass module, try module 2. So now, without zooming or zooming out at all, let's go back to our line. So our line, you can see it's in 14 something. So let's start here. If I start here now, see it's asking me this blue, this thing in the white box now, this thing in this white box here, as you can, the one that's white is what you are working with. It's the length you are working with. For example, I want a straight line. So you know my angle already. You can see the angle. If I want a straight line, the angle be what? 0, right? I want a straight line. But I want a bent line, I can keep on increasing the angle. I'm just moving my mouse, just like that. I'm just moving my mouse, I can keep on increasing the angle, just like that. So now, once you have AutoCAD, you can put a definite this thing now. For example, this the fact that the value inside there is highlighted with blue means that I can change it. That's what it means. For example, now if I wanted a 30 millimeter line, I'll just type 30, just type it 30, and I press enter. But if I want it to be a straight line, I'll still leave my angle at 0, as you can see. I'll leave my angle at 0. I want it to be a straight line. So I press enter. See it's 30, it has stopped. I stopped there. This is a different line I'm starting with. Only if you understand. This first segment now, this first one is 30 millimeters. But then on that 30 millimeters, and I stopped and I started again from that 30 to a different. If I want to draw a different one now, what do I do? If I want to draw a line, let's say I want to draw a 20 millimeters at a different angle. Let's say I want to draw my angle at 30 degrees. I will press tab on your keyboard, the tab button. Look for the tab button. Press tab. It switches. See, it has locked the length. As you can see, the padlock icon. It has locked the length, and then the angle is now what I can change now. Let me change my angle back to 30. If I press enter, watch what happens. You can see it shifted up. So this one is a 30 millimeter. The first line I drew was 30 millimeter at 0. The second one I drew was 20 millimeters at what? 30 degrees. So I can just keep on going like that, just keep on going. You can just continue, just experiment with different angles. See 90 degrees. If I want like 90 degrees now, and I want it to be a 10 millimeter line, I still press enter, something like that. So it has cut 10 millimeters for me and stopped there automatically. So I can just be changing direction just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that, just like that. Just for me to be doing this thing now, just be moving your mouse in any direction and then stop. To stop, just left click, move, left click, move, left click, move, left click, left click, left click. That's if you just want to draw something, anything random like what I'm doing now. But if you are drawing something calculated, you have to follow the initial steps I was doing. So escape now, and I press escape and I ended the operation. So now let's confirm. See, let's confirm. You can see that the line segment, like I said in that previous this thing, that the line segments are all separate. They can be divided. This one is a separate line. This is also a separate line. That's why they're highlighted differently. Separate line, separate line. Just by putting your mouse over it without clicking, you can see that it will highlight it. Just bring it to light. Show it when you're actually hovering on what is connected to it and not. So this one is on its own. On its own, they are all on their own. Since I use the line tool, they will all be on their own separately. That's how it works. Just like this, just like this. And then to now check, okay, what if what I was doing was wrong? Let's confirm the length now. Use the distance tool, DI, distance, enter. So you come here, specify first point, just put your mouse here. You see that this green box is called a snap box. The snap is to tell you where you are now. You can only snap endpoints and specific other points I will tell you later on as you go into this class. So I'm snapping the endpoint now, as you can see it has marked that point forever. No matter if I leave, if I come back there to mark the endpoint of the line, if I click on it, then it take it to this point now. You can see it snapped there, the endpoint of that line also, it snapped it too. So this is what, as you can see, is 30, dimension is 30. Do you understand? So that's how it is. But this one is a different case. You know why it's different now? The angles and the distance from here are different. So that's all. So if I want to do it again, DI, enter, just type DI, distance to, and then you come here, you click. Once it snaps it, you click. Once it snaps, you see it's 20 also. Escape. So if you want to just check if I'm correct or not, that's how to check, that's how to measure in AutoCAD. So I think that should be all about line. Yes, that should be all about the line. So it's a very basic tool. You can either, like I said, you can activate it by either clicking on this line element right here, or you can type L as the shortcut, or you can type the whole thing. You can type the line, the whole thing, and press enter. Whatever you type in AutoCAD, just start typing. Once you're not in any operation, like this now, I'm not doing anything now. Nothing is running in my command line, as you can see. What you just do now, you just press LIN, you just type line and press enter. You see it becomes the line to specify first point, you can see it. So yeah, that is all. That is all. And then to now like massively like to delete a lot of things, just press delete. Escape is not delete though. Escape is not delete. Escape is to cancel what you selected. You can see it cancel. But if I selected this one now, selected all of them here. I hope you guys remember how I selected in the last class. So you just press delete. Delete will remove it. Delete. You can see erase. There's also an erase tool, but that one is, see the erase tool right here. This is the erase tool, but delete just works much better. It's much more easier for you. Well, it depends on your choice and your preference. So let's move on to the next tool you can see in our panel, which is the polyline. The draw panel, the polyline is the next tool. Polyline, like it says, is like poly. Poly means many, right? So a polyline now, you can remember in our line when I was telling you about the line, a 2D polyline is a connected sequence. Connected is the main point. Connected sequence of segments created as a singular planar object. Let me explain. In the line, when we're using line, you saw that the line I could select each of them differently. But when you're using polyline makes AutoCAD think that you just drew one thing, one huge big line. So it selects everything as one. For example, I selected my polyline tool. You can either select it or you press PL, you type PL, or you type, yeah, P line. This is it. PL is just polyline. Just type PL for polyline and press enter. So now it has started. What you do next is that you click just to specify start point first. Just click anywhere, start point. Then your next point is now depending on you what direction you want to go to. So if I want to go 0 now, I've clicked on it. I didn't measure the distance now. I'm not talking about distance now. Like this now, okay. 90 degrees. I'm going like this again. Let me do something like 0. Continue again, 90. Then you come back. Don't worry about this thing I'm doing. Don't worry, you understand it. You can see this is the use of snap. You can see what just happened. I just found out where that line will meet this line. Don't worry, you guys will know how to do all this ones later on. Don't worry about it. Just understand the polyline first. Then to now escape, I press escape. You can see once I hover it now, see what it did. It just selected everything at once. Even if I didn't close it, this is still the polyline tool. If I didn't close it too, you can see it's selecting everything at once. Even if I didn't close it like how I closed this one. Do you understand? So polyline just selects everything as one. But line now, let me use the line tool. If I use the line tool now, line, see what happens, and I draw this same thing again. You see that the line is not selecting everything, but the polyline is selecting everything at once. You can see. But this one is only selecting just that line segment. So that's one of the uses of polyline. That's just like one of the uses of polyline. And then another thing about polyline is that, okay, let me explain this one. This one can be a bit difficult to understand, but just follow me here. Follow me. Follow me. You get it. Polyline now, polyline, polyline from the name polyline. You can even see the element where this thing is drawn. It's not just a straight line. A line can also be a curved line, zigzag, anything. So you can also add an arc with a polyline. You can see the way the element is now, this line, then it curves like this. So you can also do something like this now. Let me show you how to do it. It's called a polyline for a reason. So now let's enable our polyline to PL, enter polyline. What we do next is that we just start drawing. Okay. Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, let's start drawing. Let's start drawing. I wanted to do an auto mode drawing, but it's alright. It's fine. You can see that thing has increased to 9,000 or something. Because can you see the difference in this thing? This one was about 30, I be 100 or something. See 9,000. See how tiny it is. Let's go back to this scale because I prefer it in smaller scale. Let me just clear this. You can see that it did not select this one because it did not touch it. I remember from the last class. So let's start with our PL now. Start with our PL. And see. Okay, let's start now. Let's move back a bit. Don't worry about the units and the length or anything now. Just let's start. You can see, let's go 0 degrees. Okay now. So now change it to an arc at this point because I'm trying to redraw this polyline logo. Try to redraw it. You can either choose it here. See, this is my command line now. This command line comes to command line and choose it here. Or instead, you can just, okay, let's say you can just type A. Just type A randomly. Just type, instead of putting, just type A. You can see I just typed A and I press enter. You can see it has changed to an arc already. You can see it has changed to an arc. It's no more a straight line again. You can also see that in this my command line, the number of options I have has increased. So yes, this is how you just convert it back to an arc like this. So this is that polyline logo you are seeing now. This thing, this is it here. Also, if I wanted to close this now, I select the polyline. If I wanted to, this is another example of how to use polyline. If I wanted to draw a closed object, okay, let's say I draw something like this now. Let's say I just draw random, just a random something, like something like this. Just anything random you can think about. Just keep on, just play with it. I want to close this object, but I don't have strength to join it. You understand? I can just press C. Just press C and press enter. See, it closes by itself. It just closes and becomes a whole shape. Also try it out somewhere else. Let's use another polyline function. Something like this now. Let's do something like this. And then I press C. See what happens. It closes automatically by itself. So just play around with it. Just play around with it. It's for you to play around with, right? Just enjoy it for now. So we're still on polyline. Still on polyline. So I can change it to an arc, like I said, by pressing my A. And then I can also change it back to a line by pressing L. Change it back to a line, as you can see. So it's great for drawing things. I change it back to an arc by pressing enter. See? something like this. Escape. I just drawn whatever this is, a kind of mini knife, something like that. So it's just for you to play around with. I guess that should be all for Polyline. Let's move on to the next. This is the circle tool. Circle. Now this circle tool, you can press C, enter, and it tells you specify the center point for the circle. You can choose anywhere for the center of your circle and it bring it out. You understand that from here to this point, from the center of your circle to the radius. So from the center of your circle to the circumference is the radius, right? So what are increasing now is the radius of the circle. That's why they ask you specify radius of circle. That's why they ask you specify it. You can specify it by saying, okay, I want a 40 millimeter circle. This is it. 40 millimeters. You can see it. This is it right here. Or I can also say I want something like I want here. Then I let's just say something like 3. See, it is small, just a bit. You can just play around with it. Once you press C, press enter, then you click on where you want to start the center of the circle from. And then that's all. That's just all. It's that simple. But another thing about circles is that there are different kinds of circles. There's a center radius circle. That's the one we're doing now. They'll give you the center and ask for the radius. That's what it means. So they will ask you for the center and then the radius. This one they will ask you for the center and the diameter. Then for 2 points, they'll ask you for 2 points. Let's say you want to draw a circle on a line or something. Or let's try it. Let's try it out. Escape first. Then L enter. Let's say I have a line like this. Let's have a line like this now. Escape. I want to draw a circle. Let's try something like this. Specify endpoint of circle's diameter. Let's say here, since it's snapping here. Specify second endpoint of circle's diameter. You can see it's 2 points. That's just it. 2 point circle. What I just did. If I want to draw a 3 point circle, the same thing. If I want to draw like a like we have two tangents. What a tangent is, tangent of a circle is a line that touches the circle at one point. Okay, let's try drawing on that L-shaped stuff like this. Let's say I draw something like this now. And then I'm about to draw a circle that's tangential or a circle that's tangential to these two lines. So what I do now is to just pick this tan radius, I pick it, and then select the first point. Let's select here. And then the second for second tangent of circle, let's say here. Specify the radius of the circle, you come to the middle and then draw it. Okay. Excuse me, let's do that. Let's do that again. No one went wrong. To specify first point on object for first tangent of circle, let's start here. Start here. Okay. And then second, the tangent for the circle. I think it's too big for this thing. See it, you can see it. It has appeared. These were the 2 points we picked for the tangent, and that's what happened. So those are the type of circles you have. But the most common one you're using is the center one, the one that you can just type C and then press enter and then you can use it. That's the circle you'll be using mostly. Then we have the arc. There are 3 point arcs. Let's say an arc, something like this now. Just select 3 points. One, we've selected, let me start again. If I select the arc, this thing, if I select the first point, select second point, you can see it. We're now going. We're trying to select the end point of the arc like this. An arc, you can stretch it as much as you want to. But for you to reverse the direction, hold control. For you to reverse direction, hold your control button on your keypad. It reverses the direction automatically. Reverses direction. That's how to draw arcs. That's how to use arcs. Then there are different types of arcs: start, center, end, start, center, angle. Depends on what you want to use them for. You know which one will best fit it. Then we have another one called the rectangle. Rectangle. Instead, you can just, for example, if you want to draw a, let me just put this, chip this in. A rectangle, you can type REC. You can see it's rectangle. That is it right there. Press enter. Then specify first corner point. Specify the other corner point. You can see you've drawn a rectangle just like that. But to draw other shapes, one, let's say you want to draw something like a hexagon or an octagon, those are all polygons. A rectangle is also a polygon, a triangle is a polygon, but a circle is not a polygon. So to start to draw any polygon you want to type on the polygon, just type polygon, POL. You can see polygon, anyone. Then they ask you for the number of sides. Let's say you want an octagon, 5, 8, sorry, 8. Press enter. Specify the center of the polygon. You want it inscribed in a circle. Let's say inscribed in a circle, something like this. See, it just created an octagon for me, a perfect octagon. You can see it, very perfect. Awesome. So this is just that. So like I said, if I want to draw a triangle, a triangle is also a polygon, right? If you guys remember your maths or in JS, POL, enter. Let's say we want to draw a 3. Specify the center of the polygon, described in a circle. You can see it brought out a triangle for us. You can see it. So just anyhow you want to place it, and then just click and to stop it, to draw it already. You get. So let's try another one. Polygon, enter. Let's say 6, enter. So, yup, this is it, a hexagon. So that's all about polygons for now. And then this one is a very important one. This ellipse. Ellipse is a very important tool since you are doing isometric, because a circle in isometric view looks like an is an ellipse, not looks like it's an ellipse, becomes an ellipse in isometric view. Let me explain. This is an ellipse. An ellipse specify the center and end point. You see, an ellipse is like a stretched circle. Like it's not a perfect circle, just like a straight you are stretching, like when you stretch a rubber band. That's how that's what an ellipse is. A stretched circle. That's what an ellipse is. And it has different parts that you get to know when you actually need it, when you need to draw it. For now I'm just looking at the draw panel. And then this is a hatch. For example, if I hatch, you know what it means to hatch, you just like color in something like that. So I press C, my circle, and then I start my hatch. Let's draw the circle, and then I press H for hatch. H for hatch. This key here. And then you pick the internal point. Let's say I pick here. Then you can select whether you want it to be this kind of design or this just solid white or ANS, this one or this design. You can select any one. So just to color in, that's what it is. Then you close it here. See where my mouse is. You close it here. Close hatch creation. That's about hatch. So now there's still more in the drop down menu of this panel. But the one you use the most out of all of them here is this divide. You might use divide later on. I will explain that divide, but these ones are not that important for now concerning in relation to you guys, to what you guys will be doing. It's not important. A helix is something like this, like a spiral spring. That's what this tool creates. Creates a 2D helix. So let's say specify center of base point or base specify base radius. You can see it, the radius, the distance between this center and then the exit. So it just creates a 2D helix, something like this. This is a 2D. Just like when you view a spring from the top, this is what you see, just a spiral. That's what it creates. So you don't really need this for now. People that are doing technical drawing. But let me explain to you the distance, the divide tool and the measure tool, because you will likely use them very soon. Okay, so the let's draw a line first. Let's draw a line. I hope by now you all know how to draw a line. Let's just draw a random line. We don't know the length. But then we are asked to now divide this line into different parts. This divide tool creates evenly spaced points on objects or blocks along the length of perimeter of an object. Let me explain. First of all, let's select it. Then you select the object to divide. We want to divide this object, the line. So enter the number of segments you want to divide. Let's say they were asked to divide this line into 5 equal parts. That's what divide does. It divides them into equal parts. Let's say 5. Enter. You might not see them now, but it has divided. You have to zoom in. I don't know if you guys can see it. There are some points See this one now, this is a point. I don't know if you can see, there are some tiny tiny points on the line. Those are where they are stationed. Those are the division marks. But AutoCAD generically, the points are made like by default to just be this tiny, but you can always edit it by typing DDP type. Not that kind of DD, please. Not that kind of DD. Just like DDP type. Even sounds very funny saying it, but anyways, so now we can choose a point. We want it to be like this now, this plus, and then we increase it. Let's say we want it to be very bold. Let's put 15, very, very bold. Enter. You can see them now. One, two, one, two, three, four, five. Five equal parts. That's what this thing has divided them into, five equal parts. So that's what the divide tool does. Let's do another line. Let's make it something we can actually divide into. Let's say 60. Enter. Escape. Okay, so now let's go to our measure tool, measure. This one, measure is the tool where you have to select the object to measure first. Then you now put the length of what you want to divide it into. For example now, to divide 60, a line of 60 into three equal parts, each length has to be 20, 20, 20, right? So let's put 20 millimeters for it to divide into. You see, to divide into three equal parts. You can see three lines are there. One, two, three are there. So that's what the measure tool does. Just divides them into 20 equal segments. Sorry, three equal segments. So that will be all for this class. I hope you understood what was taught in today's video. Please share this video, share the group link to your friends. Tell your friends about the group because we have something cooking. We have physical classes are coming. We also have paper and pen classes. They are coming for the exams. In preparation for the exam, they are also coming on your way. If you don't want your friends to miss out on it, share the link to them. Invite more people because we learn by growing together. Till next time, I still remain Sir Oliver. Thank you. Goodbye.